Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the best kind of computer system that you can buy for Flutter in 2023.
Are you an aspiring Flutter developer? Are you currently in need of a computer? Well, I'm here to tell you that if you're looking to get into Flutter and you need a computer right now, forget about PC Master Race. You want the Mac.
Who are you?
Housekeeping?
No, who are you? Why are you in my house?
Okay, I gotta go.
Get out of here! Come on, just... Oh. That was weird. I am really sorry about that, everybody. Today's video, we're actually going to be talking about what the best computer is for Flutter. Now, before we get into that, if you don't know what Flutter is literally the best multi-platform framework. If you write an application in Flutter, you can use it on iOS, Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and of course, the web. This begs the question, for anyone serious about becoming a high-quality Flutter developer, which computer could you use? I recommend something with Windows, preferably a computer from Razer or another... Huh. Alright, this is a spam call. Let's go ahead and hang up here. Alright, pardon me, it's just really annoying. I'm feeling really frustrated. Ugh. Spam call, pardon me. Now, as I was saying, I believe that you should use a Windows machine for Flutter development, and preferably something made by Razer. A Razer Blade, perhaps, because it is the most premium Windows machine. Now, why, do you ask, would I use a Windows machine? Well, there's a few reasons. First, it's the most supported operating system in the entire world, and it has the most software and support that you can imagine. Whew. Why else do I recommend Windows? Because all your favorite tools are available. Docker, VS Code, anything you can imagine. And you can also test your Windows apps, your Linux apps, your web apps, and your Android apps on one... Oh my god. That's the same person. This is really weird. All right. Now, where were we? Oh, as I was saying, we were talking... This is getting really annoying. Okay. This had better be important. I'm in the middle of shooting a video. What do you want?
Just listen to me, please.
Okay, what is it?
You're about to make a very big mistake. I know what you're going to do. I've seen this played out before. You're going to try and steer people to Windows machines for Flutter development.
And why wouldn't I?
You fool! Shut up and listen. I've seen this before. I know what happens. An entire generation of developers will be led astray. The results will be undesirable.
What in the hell is your problem?
Mac, it's the only choice. It's the only system where you can...
Freaking Mac zealots. Now, as I was saying, Windows is the best choice for developers. You get the tools that you need, the software you need, the stability you need, the operating system updates you need, and you get them all at a price that is roughly half of a comparable Mac. That's a pretty good deal. Whew. And for those of you who insist on targeting iOS and Mac, there are amazing tools available on Windows that can help you deploy and test iOS and Mac apps, such as CodeMagic and Apollo. And of course, you can simply install a virtual machine with OS X on it. What is with you? What do you want?
Don't you see? Flutter is a multi-platform design. The only way that you can target and test on multiple platforms is to use a Mac.
Didn't you just hear me? There's tools like CodeMagic, like Apollo. You can even install a virtual machine with OS X on it.
You don't get it. There's no legal distributions for OS X for Windows. Pirate scum much?
Geez, okay, well, then you can just use Apollo and CodeMagic then.
You don't understand. Flutter is so fast to develop on because you can use hot reload. If you use CodeMagic or Apollo, you have to restart the application and recompile while sending your information to a physical device to test. Don't you see how much that's going to slow down your workflow?
You are such a freaking drama queen.
No,
Goodbye. Get off my property now.
Just wait.
Hello? I'd like to report a trespasser on my property. Okay, where were we? Whew. Now, back to our recommendation for the best computer for a Flutter developer. I recommend the Razer Blade Pro 17. I need to think about this. I can't do this now. I'll be back later.
Don't you see? Flutter is a multi-platform design. The only way that you can target and test on multiple platforms is to use a Mac. You don't get it. There's no legal distributions for OS X for Windows. Pirate scum much? You don't understand. Flutter is so fast to develop on because you can use hot reload. If you use CodeMagic or Apollo, you have to restart the application and recompile while sending your information to a physical device to test. The results will be undesirable.
Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the best kind of computer system that you can buy for Flutter in 2023. Now, as most of you might suspect, I would recommend a Windows machine. At least I typically would. However, some recent events, which I will not describe in any grand detail, have caused me to reconsider my position for Flutter. Now, recently my opinions have changed. And due to the multi-platform nature of Flutter and how difficult it can be to emulate iOS and Mac OS X devices on Windows, I have come to change my position away from Windows to recommending a Mac computer if you are a Flutter developer. If you have a Mac, it is very easy to both emulate and run applications for iOS, for Android, for Linux. And not only that, it is very easily to install a legal version of Windows through a virtual machine on a Mac. So you are able to emulate every platform that Flutter can deploy on one computer with a couple clicks of a button for literally the fastest possible performance you can get on any computer system for a Flutter developer. On to the recommendations. For developers who are very stationary and can usually stay in one place and don't need the portability of a laptop, or alternatively, who have a screen, keyboard, and mouse at multiple different locations, I recommend the Mac Mini with the M2 Pro. This system costs roughly $1,299 for the 16 gigabyte of RAM configuration. Now please understand, you do need 16 gigabytes or more to do this kind of development. Now remember, you are going to need a keyboard, mouse, and monitor, so you need to factor that into the price if you decide to go to the Mac Mini route. Because if you need all those peripherals, you might end up better served by the second computer that we're going to recommend. This recommendation is the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Now, I highly recommend the 16-inch because it is very difficult to develop on a laptop normally, especially difficult if you have a 13 or 14-inch screen. At minimum, you're going to want to get the MacBook Pro that has at least 16 gigabytes of RAM, and you are going to want to, at the minimum, get the M2 Pro chip. A system with this configuration is going to come in at roughly $2,699. But keep in mind, you do not need, although it's desirable, an external monitor, keyboard, mouse, or speakers. Now you might be asking, Jeff, why can't I get an iMac? Well, there's a couple reasons. The first, it's still using their slightly older chip technology, so you're paying more for a much slower experience, which is not recommended. Second, the screen on the iMac may not be the screen you want forever. So if you'd like a full desktop level experience, I highly recommend getting either a Mac Mini or a MacBook Pro and getting your own external monitor. You're probably going to want something larger with higher resolution and higher fidelity anyway. By sticking with a Mac, as much as it pains me to say, you are going to get the full advantage of the Flutter framework. You're going to be able to compile and preview your applications on any framework you choose. You're going to be able to take advantage of Flutter's hot reload functionality, which greatly speeds up the development time. Yes, it is going to cost more, but the time you will save will make it more than worth it. For those of you who are die-hard Windows users, you can still make it happen. It is going to take some extra time, and it is going to be a little more complicated to preview your iOS and Mac OS X applications. It can be done. It's just not the most efficient way to do it. So if you're buying a system primarily for Flutter development, we do, as I said, unfortunately, have to say the Mac is the best system you can buy. Don't worry, baby. I still love you.